Hey everybody, welcome to today's update on Daily IoT. We have actual pucks in hand and I am super excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am. It's been like Christmas every single day since I got them a couple of days ago. There's so much to do now. I feel like my to-do list just exploded now that I have these in hand and I can actually hold them and see how they look, and it's amazing. I'm loving it so much. So what I want to do on today's episode is just briefly show you, I'm going to do an overhead of the desk over here of what we have. They're slightly different. Agility sent me 2 of them. They're a little bit different, as well as a third that is not assembled. These are fully assembled, battery inside, everything. And then one that's not assembled so that I can see the process that goes into actually putting them together and making a puck. And so I just want to show you a little bit of that and give you some first impressions having actual hardware in hand. All right, so let's take a look at what Agility sent me. So I got 2 assembled pucks that look pretty similar at first glance, but there is a difference. If you look at this first one here, the display, the window in the case is bigger than the actual visible display area on the e-paper display. There's this sort of, you can see a slight difference in gray color to the actual changeable portion of the display versus the little bezel or edge, whatever you call it, around there. And the reason for that was for ease of assembly. This is the top of the case for that particular layout, and you can see that it's not a hole all the way through into the electronics. There's this sort of bed for the screen to lay on, and the purpose of that is you could just slide this in like this, use a little bit of adhesive here, adhesive it into place, and it's very easy to put together and mount that down. And then you've got the connector on the back side here that you can connect to the electronics, and so very easy to assemble that. But you can see the non-display areas of the screen, which I don't love. However, this is dead simple to put together. The other version, you can see that the window is exactly the size of the printable area on the screen, and so there's no edges of that e-paper display that you can see on this particular one. This one is literally just a hole, and it's got a little beveled edge on it to soften it up, that goes right in through to the main electronics. And so this is a little bit harder to mount. There is a little, I don't know what you'd call it, kind of an impression for the screen to lay in, but you've got to line it up just right and then tack it down. I do have some of these adhesive things to do that with. However, I'm going to try and maybe hot glue that. We'll see. But anyway, you can see if you line it up just right, you get just the printable area of the e-paper display, which I think looks really nice. I think I'm going to go with this case top. Okay, so that's the only difference. As far as weight and feel, I was worried that boring out the puck, here's one of the pucks completely CNC'd out. You can see we take a lot of flesh out of the puck, and it's pretty light compared to a normal puck after taking so much of that mass out. However, once you get the electronics and the battery and stuff inside, it comes back almost to full puck weight. It's pretty close. I haven't weighed it yet to see how close it is, but it feels really solid. I was worried about how it would feel cutting that much out, but it actually turned out really well. I think the feel of it is exactly what I was going for, so I'm really excited about that. And then you can see here also the CNC machine takes a chunk out of the side there for the USB charging and debugging. So that all turned out really nice, I think. All right, now let's take a look at the actual electronics. It just sits in the bottom of the case here, nothing special there, just some standoffs and a little notch for the micro USB port. And I just love the way the board turned out. I even love the purple color. I don't know that that'll be the final color when I do my run of 100, but I think it turned out really nice. Just a couple of things going on here. You know, obviously the P1 module right here front and center, which is what gives us our Wi-Fi connectivity and is the brains of the whole operation. And then this is our connector for the display. And then the buttons are actually very interesting. You can see them here. I needed 2 buttons, part of the particle ecosystem. If you put those two buttons up to the P1 module, you get a lot of things out of the box, like getting it into DFU mode and listening mode for storing Wi-Fi credentials and things like that. And so these are the buttons. They almost look like exposed copper, but they're actual buttons. You got to kind of really get your thumb in there to push them. I'm not sure. We have an alternate part for this, which is more of a standoff button that's more pressable. But really, remember, these are just the training wheels for my product. In the event that something happens, something tragic happens, and we get into a weird state where the firmware is borked or something, I need people to be able to get this out of their puck and in here and do some troubleshooting with me. And so that's what the buttons are there for. Ultimately, if things are going well and the design is working, those would really be unnecessary. People would never have a need to get inside of the case. And so, but interesting buttons. I've never seen buttons like this. They're very, very low profile. You can't even see them if I do that because they don't stick up any. But a little hard to press, but you know, workable when I need to get into different modes. My favorite part about this is, I don't know how well you can see it, is the little Maker Crew logo that they were able to use a combination of silk screen and just etched copper. Turned out really, really cool. So anyway, that's the electronics. Underneath, on the bottom, we've got the battery connector, and the battery literally just sits underneath in the case here, underneath the electronics. We connect it up, and that's how it ends up. I've got this backwards because of the way the connector works. But anyway, the battery just goes in there like that. Electronics on top, and then install the screen, top of the case there like that, and then the whole thing just slides right into the puck. The cool thing about the puck, Keith from Agility designed this. I thought it was really cool. You can take a little washer like this. The bottom of the case has a little impression there that you can glue this right in like that. And then you take yourself a magnet, glue it into the bottom of the puck, and that's what will hold it firmly in place. Now, the case itself is a pretty tight fit inside here, so it's not really going to fall out, but the magnet makes sure that it stays in there, and you know, you can shake it and do whatever, and it's not going to fall out. And so holding it in place. So I thought that was a really cool, ingenious way of holding the case in. Again, for now, because I want to be able to take it out if I need to. And so that's it. That's first impressions. I love it. It's I like this window better than the full exposure one here. And I think it's just all come together really nice. There's a couple of issues on the board that I'm working with Agility on, and I will go into more detail on those in future episodes. But overall, first pass on these prototypes has turned out extremely well. Very happy with it. That's going to do it for today's episode of Daily IoT. The next few episodes that are going to drop this week are going to be me taking a closer look at different things that I'm thinking about and noticing now that I have hardware in hand, taking a closer dive into some of those issues. Yeah, so tune in for those. You won't want to miss them. Question of the day is very easy today. What do you think of the SmartPuck hardware? How did it turn out? How did the prototypes turn out? Would love to hear some comments and feedback down in the comments section below. Also, if you're enjoying the journey, hit that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot. And if you do, send me an email, kevin@sidwar.com, because I would love to get to know you a little bit better. Tell me where you're from, how you found the channel, and why you subscribed. That would be awesome. I respond to every single person that comments and emails because I love hearing from you. So thanks so much for watching Daily IoT, the show where together we're learning how to make the Internet of Things one day at a time.